So when I hit this email, it does send them emails, but it goes to like I went to hit send. It doesn't go to the info at balance. I don't know which one.
It's fine. It's just that
Okay. I was like looking back to make sure I sent it.
It's probably the balance at Gmail.
Yeah, that one is it. Here it is. Sorry.
There's glasses in here. Does anybody need those?
Oh, mine.
Here you go. YouTube. It has to get plugged in because it was dead. Okay. No problem. Thank you.
All right, listen, if you guys see me with my butt face in the video, just remind me, because nobody wants that. Not at my age. Maybe the younger girls around here, but not this one.
So we won't say your butt is big.
Terry, your ass is on the. Turn it off. Need a plug. Now let's see here. I think we can do it that way. And I'll make sure you guys, I assume none of you want to be video stars either. Yeah, okay. I'll make sure. Do that here. Put it this way. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Oh, we're live. Oh, sorry. Did you? I don't know who's out there, but I didn't know I was live. So, welcome. I'm not going to explain myself. She had it on. Okay. Anyway, welcome. Glad you're here. I promise I won't moon you out there. This is the day. Like this is the way of the world, though. You're always on video. I don't care where you are. You're on video. You know, so, like, whatever. There are no secrets until there are. But I'm just going to close the window. And we'll start seated and shake our stories out. In my other life, I work with very young children, so you kind of get these things where you can't get the songs out of your head and the words out of your, so we're just going to get our kids shaken out with our breath. So we'll start with our hands turned down on our knees. And take a moment to notice where your body is in space. If you're leaning forward or back or off to one side, and just kind of notice and give yourself permission to allow yourself to kind of sway naturally into the place where you need to be. Kind of let gravity and the energy that swirls within you to right you, to settle you. You'll have this natural sway, this inner dance that's always going on. And it's funny how when you let it take over, how it kind of works. So when you feel like you've arrived, just allow yourself to be there for those moments. Just be. How often in our day do we allow ourselves to simply be who we are without any expectation, judgment, or sense of competition? Even if it's just for a moment, let's take that moment, that opportunity. And in this space of being, we'll allow the breath to settle into its rhythm, simply by allowing it, observing it, and getting out of its way. How is your breath? What parts along the breath cycle feel restricted in any way? Holding back in any way? How does the breath feel as it enters through the nostrils? Where does the breath go when it comes into the body? How does the body respond to the breath as it comes into the body? At what point do you feel full with breath? And what happens after you feel full? Are you willing to receive the gift of this breath? How does it feel in that moment of receiving the breath before letting it go, before giving it away? It's a beautiful moment. And how long does it take you before you allow the breath to be given back, recirculated? Where does the breath come from when it exits the body? And how does it feel as it passes out of the nostrils? How is it different from the breath moving in? When do you come to that point of letting go of all the breath? And are you keeping any extra? And just by relaxing into the breath, can you let a little bit more go at the end? And how does it feel in that space when you're completely empty? And does the breath mirror whatever you brought to the mat with you today? Giving, receiving, being full, letting go, accepting, releasing, offering. When and if you're ready, simply turn the palms upward, allowing the backs of the hands to rest, but allow the hands to relax. Let them take their natural shape. And just sit with the breath and all it offers. It's wisdom. It's gift. Just sit with the breath for the next moment or two. And listen. We'll take the thumb and the pointer finger, just lightly touch them together. And move the thumb to the middle finger, lightly touching them together. The thumb moves to the ring finger, lightly touching it together. And the pinky and the thumb meet. And then opening the hands, we'll guide the hands up to the heart center, let them meet, touch, and rest at the breastbone. Let the chin lower subtly as the back lengthens, sitting up just a little straighter. And breathe again. Breathe wide, breathe full, breathe beautiful. May this practice serve our greater good and the greater good of all. As we inhale together, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, inhale more, and let it go. Give it away. Join me in Om. Inhale. Sliding the hands down, we'll slowly flutter the eyes. And just take a moment to contract this moment. We'll be making our way slowly. Take your time onto all fours. We begin the more physical part of our practice, but keeping this same spirit of awareness and deep touch within our breath with us in everything that we do. So settle onto all fours and take some time to allow your body to move as it's drawn to do. So whether it's your traditional, real slowly investigation of a cat and a cow, an arched back and a rounded back, allowing the breath to lead the movement so that your whole in-breath leads you through the movement. You give yourself time to pause, to receive, to feel. And the whole out breath gives you the slow pace of traveling through the next movement. And pause in between so that you're not moving really fast, but the breath is leading the movement. The breath is doing the movement. Cat and cow can evolve, change, without any sense of right or wrong, but just by feeling your way into and out of the poses. Inviting the movement to soothe, to open, to relieve, to receive, and to let go, just as the breath. So if the cat and cow movement becomes circular or lateral, or starts to take up more space on the mat, it's okay. Be especially aware of those moments where you feel drawn to pause, to linger, and learn from those little calls, those little pockets of intuition, inner nurture. We'll move through maybe one more full cycle before settling into child's pose. I'm going to offer a wide V child's pose. Ease into it, support it if needed. When you're ready, no hurry. This is Yin Yoga, which gives us a permission slip to move slowly, to pause, to feel. When you enter your wide knee child's pose, shift, make it more comfortable, settle back in. Support the head if it's not resting on the mat. The shoulders ease their burden. You can place something under your body, under your belly. And return to your beautiful breath and its abundance. Let the body fully expand, softly expand with the in-breath. Enjoy when it receives all of it. And be very generous when you give it away again. In that spirit of faith of another breath to come. Be. Be here for just a few more breaths. We'll add some twists to this wide knee child's pose in just a moment. So taking time to just feel the ground beneath the hands and ground. We'll rise up ever so slightly and weave the right hand underneath the left armpit, reaching it as far through as we can. We want to feel this pose. So when you get to your edge, I want you to lift up and reach a little bit further so you could really stretch the right shoulder. Then settle the right ear down towards the mat or place it on a blanket or a bolster. And wiggle the left fingertips forward just a little bit. And then relax as much as possible, trusting the posture, trusting the pose. Now when you get there, you're going to allow the heaviness in the right hand, let the back of the right hand just fall into the ground. And the right shoulder give a little, relax a little. The left armpit's going to feel like it's melting down towards the mat. Really drain into the pose. The added rotation. The breath may have been restricted a little just by changing the physical shape of the body. But interestingly enough, the breath will find the space, allow it. And we'll be here for just a couple more breaths. Slide the left hand back until it's right alongside the face. Ground the left hand to support your slow exit from the shape as we slide the right hand out. We're going to come right up onto the knees and sweep the right hand right out to the side for a moment to center ourselves. And continue the rotation as little or as much as you like, reaching the right hand up. Doesn't matter how much, just go to where you feel it. And take a big breath into the grounding of the left hand and simultaneously reaching of the right hand. Before releasing, rise right up onto the knees, lift the shoulders and release them back and down, interlacing the hands behind, and we're just going to take a moment of breath. You can slide the hands away from the back. Again, this is as little or as much as you like. And really open the front body for this reception of a beautiful in-breath. And let it go. Return to all fours, and we're going to take just 1 minute to explore the same movement, cat and cow, led by the breath. Cat and cow unique to you, unique to this moment. The cat and cow that serves your body's needs. The cat and cow that follows your breath. The cat and cow that releases you from any need to do things correctly or incorrectly. The cat and cow that feels intuitive, organic, your own. Just for one more cycle through. When you feel ready, widen the knees out towards the sides of the mat, toe mounds together. We're sinking back toward our widening child's pose, sweeping the left hand underneath the right armpit. Reach through. I'm going to come to a limit, but then I want you to reach beyond that, just a speck. And then settle into it. The left ear will come to the mat. Right fingertips kind of crawl forward a little. And once you get there, you're just going to kind of sit with the awareness of it, but then allow everything to kind of give a little, to settle a little into it, where you're not striving so much anymore. Kind of went beyond the edge, but settle. Brings us back. And there we simply commit to staying, to listening. From our greatest teacher, the one within, the one found in the school of stillness and quiet. But very few dare to enter these days. Allow the back of the left hand to rest onto the floor. Trust. For these next few moments in the pose, allowing ourselves to fully relax into the pose, soften into the pose, to trust the pose. Become aware of the right hand. We'll slide it back right alongside the right alongside the face. Press down. You're coming out real slowly. As you return to, let's say all fours, but 3 out of 4s, you reach the left hand out just to the side to start so that you can move into the rotation real mindfully, going just as far as your body needs, whether it's a little or a lot, just enough to be able to take one big breath from grounding through the right hand to the reaching of the left hand before landing everything back down onto the mat. And again, we're going to rise up, roll up onto the knees. Shoulders come up, back and down, interlace behind, and open the front body. Take the gaze upward. Float the hands away from the body as much as they will. And enjoy the breath. Enjoy the inhale. Enjoy the opportunity to turn the face upward, to present the heart very vulnerable, wide open, willing. And then we'll release, reaching the hands upward and guiding them right to the heart space. The next yin shape we'll be coming into is a low lunge type shape. You may need your blocks to support the shape. We'll be bringing the right foot to the front of the mat. Setting the right knee just in line with the ankle, not jutting beyond. And inching the left knee back until you feel. You feel the shape. And the body says, that's enough. So the blocks are up to you. Your hands may naturally meet the floor. You may need high blocks, low blocks, or medium blocks. Because we are going to hold this shape, not as long, but for some time. The tendency is going to want to be to move forward, but we're going to be mindful of hovering the right knee in line with the ankle. Take the gaze, let it follow the bridge of the nose, and find the breath to hold you here. Keep the neck long, try not to hang the head, just so that the channel for the breath stays wide and abundant. We'll notice any changes in the quality of the breath, or the speed, or the shape of the breath. We'll notice if we enter a more challenging pose, a more upright pose, a pose that requires more of us, the breath will respond. But we're going to find this balance between effort and ease by directing the breath into that rhythm that we became acquainted with in the beginning of our practice. And how does it change the shape just by becoming aware of a sense of grounding underneath the right foot? We'll be here for just a few more breaths. Whatever the hands are touching, ground them. And start to ease off of the shape by sliding the hips back. You can keep the blocks handy, just slide them out to the side. So we're moving right into the next shape by walking the right foot across the mat, turning the knee out, and sliding the hips low into our pigeon shape, or sleeping swan as we call it in Yin Yoga. Be careful not to point the knee to the center of the mat. Keep it pointing out toward the side of the mat. Yeah, take a moment to sink the hips, to feel that. Before lowering the upper body, and lower it onto a bolster or onto the mat or onto the forearms, wherever you feel guided. Simply supporting the head though, whether it's stacking the fists to receive the head. The head gets heavy. So you always want it to rest on something, if you will. And then notice what it feels like in the shape. Does it feel good? Does it feel fierce? Is it strong sensation or mild sensation? What happens when you ease the right hip back and lower the left hip as if you just center them? Maybe we're leaning away from the sensation. Investigate it, get curious about it. Trust that the breath will keep you centered and aware and present. With anything that arises, sometimes it's very physical, sometimes it's other, whether it's emotional, memory. Breathe and allow the experience. The only thing we'll respond to is pain. We never practice to pain, we move away from pain. Pain is our signal that we've gone too far. But other than that, we learn, we listen, we feel, we allow. Release any tension that may have accumulated in the jaw, the face, or the belly. Be for just a few more breaths. So we're going to start to move away from the shape, grounding the hands and slide the knees together. I'm going to be offering the next yin shape, a saddle pose or the Sphinx pose. Just depends on your body. Saddle pose. We're going to move the bolster behind us. Saddle pose is not agreeable to everybody, so I'm going to offer, I'll show you it first. If you feel it's not for you, I'll show you an option. So the knees will be wide. The bolster comes right to the bottom, and you'll start to ease back until you rest on the bolster. That's a real strong knee flexion, so if you have any issues with your knees, you're going to come into a Sphinx pose with your belly on the mat, on your forearms. And so if you want to try the saddle pose, if it does not feel good, feels overwhelming, we'll do the other. Make sure the knees go wide on that. Yeah, if it's not for you, it's not for you. You'll know right away. I know. Yeah, okay. Then we'll come into a Sphinx pose. You want to draw on the front of the body. So if you're coming into Sphinx pose, you're going to take the forearms just underneath. Take them, maybe move them maybe a half inch forward of the shoulders, right? Make sure the elbows are just lined up with the shoulders so that you're not sinking into the neck. And then lift the whole rib cage, like the belly button, away from the mat. I feel like you're moving the rib cage forward and then allowing it to settle, like hover just above the mat so that you can feel a back bend there. Settle your gaze. You could close your eyes or just let the gaze soften over the bridge of the nose. That's what happens. The only thing to be mindful is here, gravity's going to keep kind of pulling you down, and you don't want to sink into the shoulders too much. So you do have to keep some effort here to maintain the shape. I'll offer another option for this in just a moment once the body settles. Just breathe. Just breathe. Now, if you're on your belly in your Sphinx pose, you can either stay there, or if you want to deepen the back bend, you can turn the hands out and lift the elbows from the mat in what we call a seal shape. But again, if that feels wrong to your back, go back down to the original version of that shape. And breathe. Notice. This is a back bending shape, which in other terms, it's a front body opening shape. It exposes the heart, which we've often spent a lifetime protecting and closing in on. So whatever arises, even if you can't name it, feel and breathe through the experience, letting things ebb and flow, peaks and valleys. The breath is always here. There's a rhythm you can always come back to. The in-breath rising through the body, filling, expanding. The out-breath flushing down the length of the body, draining, rinsing. We'll be in this version of the shape, just a few more breaths. If you've taken the seal version of the pose, you want to come back into your Sphinx, you can do so now. We'll take a few breaths there. If you're in saddle, you're just going to start to think about leaving the shape. We're just not leaving yet, just maybe 3 more deep breaths. And to release the shape, if you're in Sphinx on the mat, we're simply going to lower ourselves onto the mat, turning the head to one side and sliding the arms along the body and rest the body. If you're in saddle, you're going to rise from the pose, slowly, slowly, slowly lying down on the mat to join the others, to rest the body. Simply want the body to be still, allowing the flow of energy in the body to freely move, to readjust, to balance itself. Take your time, breathe here. I'm just going to feel what's happening within the deep layers of the body. Yeah, take your time. It's a big transition. You can turn your head to the opposite side if you like, just to even things out while we take just a few more breaths here. We'll bend the knees. Just take a moment to slowly windshield wiper them side to side. Before settling them back down and preparing to rise up onto the knees. Slowly round up. When you arrive, interlacing, this transition is slow. I'm ahead of you, so take your time. Again, enjoy the breath. Close down your eyes. I want you to enjoy what you feel. And then release. We're preparing to follow the same steps as we step the left foot to the front of the mat. Blocks are handy here. We're going to do that low lunge pose. Left foot forward. Right knee, once the left foot gets set up, knee over ankle, the right knee will inch back. You might need a blanket or something under the knee. Until you feel you're there, and be there. Create some length in the body as you draw the chest forward, lengthen the neck, lift the gaze just slightly. Ground through the left foot for support. but use just enough, just enough. Always balancing effort with ease. That concept of enough. It's enough. Big breath here for you. Here for just a few more breaths, breathing through those moments of wanting to leave the shape. Getting to the other side of that. One more breath. And ease back. Ease back. You're going to slide the blocks off to the side. Come right into our pigeon shape as we walk the left foot across the mat. Turn the knee out to the side. Then let the foot find its natural position. Natural bend of the knee. Let the hips sink. We're going to stay high for a moment. Still kind of center the hips so we're not leaning too far to one side. Support the pose as needed. Find this length, this kind of openness before you melt down into the shape to rest. Take your time to transition as long as you need to transition into and out of these shapes.
Looking for just a few more breaths. Take a moment to ground in the shape. Preparing to rise from it. We'll be sinking right onto our left hip. Turn to face you as we take the legs wide, coming right into a straddle. Straddle shape. Go as wide as you can. It's okay to sit up on something. Pointing the toes up and the heels out. We're going to sit tall. Take a breath. And when we enter this pose, we're going to do it by getting tall, tilting the hips forward and only going a third of the way down, keeping the chest lifted and the gaze lifted, the spine long. When we go a little bit, you're going to feel the tug there on the muscles. And then maybe you take an in-breath and get real long and tall and wide before hinging at the hips and going a little bit further. Really just kind of inching your way in by keeping the integrity of the spine without rounding the upper back to dive into it. It may only go a little bit, it's okay. So go as far as you will in the shape. And be there. Be there fully and completely committed to listening, to learning, to feeling, to being one with the experience. Be here for a few breaths. Deep breath in. Melt into the pose with your out breath. The out breath, yeah, that's it. Do that about 2 more times. A deep breath in, and then let the out breath just kind of sink you into the shape. And then allow yourself to be there. Just a couple more breaths. You're going to feel this sense of grounding through the hands. And kind of walk back the way you came. Experience the transition. The transitions are a big part of this. And when you get upright, you're going to slide the legs so that you're facing forward. Just let the legs be straight and let them kind of relax, flop open, take the hands behind, just as we did on our knees. We're just going to kind of offer an open heart, just to kind of drink the breath here, refresh. In the meantime, letting the energy The lower body, redistribute, balance itself. There's resting periods important. And then we'll rise up, coming back to a comfortable seated position, turning the palms upward and open. We're going to take the thumb and pointer together again, symbolizing Sa. The thumb and the middle finger together, Ta. The thumb and the ring finger together, Na. And the thumb and the pinky together, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. You can join me in vocalizing it, or you can just listen as you touch each finger. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. With a whisper. Sa, Ta, Na, Sa, Ta, Na, Sa. Silently. With a whisper. Sa. And in a voice, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. One more. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Let the hands relax and just take a moment. In the breath. And bring the hands to the heart space, lower the chin to the chest, and be with what's in your heart. As we release that meditation, we're going to make our way onto our back. We'll finish our practice on the back. So have any comfort items handy. That's where we will finish. When you ease back, guide the knees into the chest. Again, I'm going to give you this moment to be intuitive. Maybe you move the knees around in a little circle. Straighten them up. You can straighten the legs and just kind of flex and point the feet if that feels good. You can drop the knees to one side. Widen the arms and look to the other side. Just take a breath there. before coming back, spending a moment in the center before moving to the opposite side. Surrender, breathe. Another breath there. And then make your way back to the center. Preparing to come into our final shape, our corpse pose as you lie back, supported, you're on the mat. Let the legs just kind of fall apart and relax, relieved of their duty. Slide the shoulders underneath. Let the arms spill out away from you or rest them on the body. Hands up or down, whatever you need. And rest deeply in the earth that receives you. Rest in your foundation that nourishes you. And trust your breath to hold you by letting it go. So let breath guide us back to the present. Breathing new life energy back into the physical body. Flooding through fingers and toes, arms and legs. Allowing the head to rock gently side to side. And taking a nice long full body stretch of awakening. Before rolling onto your side, curl it up in fetal position. And join me seated where we started, our hands at our heart. Breathe together in and out. Join me in all inhale. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you. And thank you out there.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you.